What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Reasons to Smile, episode number 3. Every week I scour the globe-wide internet, blah, 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 for things I think you might be interested in, and it'll make you smile. Lego. Number 1 comes to us from Netflix. Now, Rocko's Modern Life, one of my favorite shows, the cartoon about a wallaby named Rocco, basically living his modern life, that came from the 90s, is one of my favorite shows. I love it, and it's no secret to tackling controversial subjects. In its original run in the 90s, from 93 to 95 or 96, I believe, it dealt with things like interracial marriage between the cat, Dr. Hutchinson, the turtle, Filbert, and it detailed things such as adoption, which wasn't really talked about on TV before either. Now, it returned in the form of a special called Static Cling a couple weeks ago on Netflix, and a major storyline in it was the character Ralph Bighead, son of Ed and Bev Bighead, Rocco's neighbors, came out as trans. And I think this is a really good thing because you never see this kind of thing on TV or anything, and I really think it's signaling a change in perception for trans people and trans rights. Next story comes to us over from Indiana, just a hop, skip, and a jump from me. Not really. Now, this little boy and his mother kept going past this road and noticing that turtles were getting run over left and right. They had to bear witness to one getting run over personally, I believe, and they wanted to do something about it. So they didn't know what to do. It's like, how do you help stop this? So he actually wrote a letter to the mayor of his city/town. Links in the description below for all of these if you guys want to check it out yourself. As well as give me a tip if you like the video by donating to a charity listed down below. Now anyway, he actually wrote a letter to the mayor of his city talking about this, and as a result, a turtle crossing sign got put up. Now I think this is great because this shows that even at the smallest level, you can make a difference. Now, I don't mean small because this probably saved a lot of turtles' life, and I believe that's a great thing. And I just think this goes to show that anybody can make a difference. All right, number 3, with all the negative media that surrounds police officers in the United States, I think it's important that people should remember that cops are people, just like all of us. Some are good and some are bad. This cop is a really, really good guy. He actually saved a little girl from choking to death on some kind of coin. I believe it was a penny. He was actually on his lunch break when he got the call over the scanner. This is my knees. And he decided, because he was the one closest to the scene, and he decided to go over to the house where the little girl was choking to death and save her life. And yeah, he actually saved her life. He even later went on to go to the hospital where she was staying at to check up on her, and he did not have to do any of that. They became friends after this, and about a year later, she threw him a tea party. Not gonna lie, this one's probably the most heartwarming story on the list. I don't know what's the best. The fact that this dude was on his lunch break and did not have to respond. The fact that he visited her in a hospital, the fact that they became friends, the fact that she threw him a tea party. This just gives you the feels, man. And this better be a reason why you should smile. Number 4, again, much like the previous cop story, people often judge Pitbulls negatively over things that others have done. I equate this to being no better than actual racism that we see in humans. But this story, I hope, will change that for those of you watching who don't like pit bulls. Although I will say, I've met a few pit bulls, and the ones I've met are the sweetest dogs, and I just love them. This pit bull went on a fishing trip with its owner, who I guess was some sort of fisherman. Now, I'm not a big fan of fishermen, but that's a story for another day. This pit bull noticed that his owner was actually getting attacked by a shark in the water below him, and he actually jumped in the water and fought off the pit bull and fought off the shark, and saved his owner's life. Remember, pit bulls are just like any other dog. They can be loving, they can be They can be the best dogs in the world, or they can be the worst dogs in the world. All depends on a mix of personality and owner. And when it comes to bad pit bulls, it's usually the owner's fault. Alright, number 5. 15 years ago, a great tragedy befell a family. A husband had to say goodbye to his dream car, his 1993 Ford Mustang, because his wife had actually gotten cancer, I believe? And he had to take care of her and his family, children included. So he had to sell his dream car to pay for his wife's medical bills. Well, 15 years later, his children, who are now adults, actually tracked down that car and bought him back the exact same car. And that's not even where the story ends, guys. Ford caught wind of the story, and they actually have offered to restore it for him. I feel like this is just karma. You do good, you get good, even if it takes a while. This kind of rivals the cop thing in terms of the feels, man. The poetic justice in this. He actually sold one of his favorite things in the world that he loved to help the woman he loved. That right there is enough for this. But to get it back, the exact same car back and have it refurbished, just the icing on the cake, man. I know, I'm not a good talker. I'm working on it. All right, number 6. There's this teenage girl named Angel Moore. She just swam 28 miles around the island of Manhattan, New York, and raised $58,000. You heard me right. $58,000 for a non-profit children's international program that raises funds for kids in poverty. I love when people get out there and make a difference, man. Again, sometimes even the smallest amount may not seem like much, but to the person that gets help or the animal that gets help, what have you, it could mean the whole world to them. I've always said if you wanted to change the world, start small, because to the person or animal or whatever you're helping, it's not a small contribution. All right, number 7. From rags to riches, I call this one. I believe we're all familiar with the Lady and the Tramp story, right? From Disney 90s animated classic. It was a personal favorite of mine when I was growing up as a kid. Well, Disney executives hired a guy to look for dogs to play Tramp in the new live-action remake, because Disney is full of live-action remakes now for some reason. And this one I'm actually going to be checking out, because there was this dog named Monty who was at this shelter, who was living at this shelter in Colorado, somewhere out west. Colorado or LA, that's one of my guesses. Again, you want to do more research, links down below. I haven't read the article in a while. And this dog named Monty was living in the shelter, and he was actually found by the Disney people, and he was given the lead role of Tramp in the new live-action remake. And I just think that's, again, rags to riches. That's just, I know, I'm a terrible explainer. Number 8. Number 8 actually comes to you from me over here at Green Autism, because I'm beyond pleased to announce that we're almost done with phase 1 of the Green Autism project. The last phase 1 will end with the release in a couple of months of this great project I've been working on. Now, I know that's not really giving that much details, but I think that's a reason to smile, because this project is going to be helping a lot of people, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. All right, number 9. I know we often associate hurricanes and natural disasters with tragedies, great losses of life, which they are, but this is a story from when a hurricane actually does some good. Around a year ago exactly, Hurricane Florence ravaged down south. Well, south from me. But I'm a New Englander, so yeah, ravaged down south. And I hate to say it did claim a fair amount of lives, human and animal. But this is the story where it actually saved lives. Because in the area that was ravaged, Hurricane Florence actually helped 3 pigs escape slaughter and go on to live in a sanctuary, free from the burden of all that evil that was supposed to befall them. And again, if you're depressed or anything, look at something like this. From the eye of the storm, something good can come out of it. And I think that's a mindset you need. And number 10, my favorite this week, as it always is, spoiler alert, it's always the same. Number 10 of reasons why you should smile is you. It's always you.